this is going to be day 11 of Trading 101, and this is going to be based on order blocks part 1. So this is really just going to be what they are and how to spot them on the chart. Obviously, you can go super in depth with order blocks. They're really important, actually. I think they're a really high confluence building block that we're going over. So going to go over what they are and kind of how to spot them, and then in later videos we'll go a lot more in depth with them. So what is an order block? An order block is considered the final move up before the move down, and vice versa for when it's bearish. So the final move up or the final move down before the move up. Sorry, that's backwards. But right here we have a bullish order block. So this is just drawn out. We have that final move down before the move up, and a bearish, which is and a bearish one, which is that final move up before the move down. Now, why are these important? Well, order blocks are important because these shows areas where this is an area where orders were filled in one direction, obviously, right? So we have this move up before the move down. So all these sell orders were getting filled here, and then we had a sell-off. And we can also use these for entries when we see price re-enter these areas. So if we have price fell off here, we see price move back into here, tap into where there's more confluences that we find, and then price moves back down. That's kind of like what my strategy is like, so that's why I really like these order blocks, and specifically high time frame order blocks. So I'm going to move into the charts here in a second and show you how to mark these out. Again, it's okay to kind of show you guys on examples, but it's more important that you're able to go into these charts and mark these out yourselves, because you're going to need these. These are super important confluences. So again, it really just depends on the size of the order block, what you want to mark out, what you don't want to. Some of these order blocks are pretty large, and I don't even consider marking out all of them. I just know prices within the order block. So right here we have a really nice bearish order block. So right here we have this final move up, and then we have a big move down, right? We have this leg up. So we have an up candle. I'm not going to call them a green candle because some people use different colored candles. We got this final move up, and then we have that big sell-off off. And it doesn't look that clean every single time, I would have to say. But for the most part, it does look fairly clean when you mark out these, especially high time frame order blocks. So this is on the hourly, as you can see. That's all I go off of, are hourly order blocks. I don't really care about the smaller time frame ones. If you're more of a smaller time frame trader, sure, but we have a ton of order blocks here. We have this one right here, again, that final move up before the move down. We have another good one right here, that final move up before the move down. So again, the way I mark these out, again, you can do it differently. Again, this would be considered the final move up before the move down, this whole leg, because it is all one bullish leg technically if we're going off the book. I don't care about that personally. I will literally just mark out this top candle and call it a day. I don't really care about price, this whole leg up. I'm not going to mark hundreds of dollars worth of range here, right? I'm going to mark out just this top one. That's all I care about. Same thing with bearish ones here. Very good example of one right here. We have this final leg down right here before this fairly large move up again. So I would just mark that last one personally for me. If you want to mark out the whole leg, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I kind of like being a little bit more specific, right? So there's also other examples of this where I will go on the smaller time frames. So if we have a large leg, I'm trying to find an example here, and we can't really, you really don't want to mark out the whole thing. There's other ways to do this, but here's a good example of price retracing into it. So we have this bullish order block. So again, you have two options here. You can mark out this whole thing, or in my case for these bullish ones, I like, especially when it looks like this, I like to mark out just this bottom part here, right? So we see the bottom wick right here. That's typically where I'll mark it out. And then here's a good example of price retracing. So we have this bearish order block. This is what I call a relative bear order block. It hasn't been tapped into yet. So that's what I like to see. So again, we have price move into here, and we have another rally back up, and actually we generate another bearish order block, or bullish order block right here, ironically. So that's what I really like to see. Another example right here. So that's kind of like what your homework's going to be, is marking these out. So we have this really nice leg up for a fairly big sell-off. So we have this leg up. We even had a liquidity sweep. I probably took a trader here, honestly. So again, we have this really nice bearish order block. We have a move up. We have a move down. We kind of get a retracement sweeping out these highs and then get another move down. So this is a really high. That would be a really high confluence trade. So again, with order blocks, you will never catch that, I guess, initial leg really ever. It's really hard. I would say it's fairly hard to catch that just initial leg up, or that, that move down, unless you have more confluence. So again, we have a really nice bearish order block right here, or bullish, my bad. Right here we have that final move down before the move up. So in general, these, like I said, are fairly easy to spot once you know what you're looking for, right? Because there's a ton of different people that'll say, a million different ways to mark these out. Again, there's a really nice bullish one right here on the hourly time frame right here. Bang, right here. So again, it's easier for me to spot because I used to just, go through the charts for a little bit and mark these out. I'm not saying you have to stare at these for an hour and a half and mark these out, but I'm saying it's a good idea to look at these and mark these out. They're a really nice confluence, I'd have to say, when it comes to trading. High confluence area, are these order blocks. So not only are they a draw of liquidity, price likes to retrace back into these, but also they're high confluence, to take a trade off of, right? These are very valid. I love order blocks. Order blocks and liquidity sweeps are probably my two highest confluences. Those are the two things that I look for, and if one of those isn't, happening, I'm not taking a trade on it. So, like I said, order blocks are pretty important when it comes to trading. There's a million different ways to mark them out. In the next video, I'll go a little bit more in depth on how to take a trade off of them, and more on spotting these.